Broadcasting to you from the heart of northern Minnesota, this is the best music-oriented podcast and web series on all of YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Roger Radio Show. I am Roger Radio.
And I'm Aegis on Levity of the Intermission Group.
Did you know that butter can be used as a shaving cream?
Did you know you can suck my dick?
Did you know that you can eat my shit? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another legit album review. And Aegis has a hard-on right now because we are finally going to review this one album that has been a fucking long time coming. We'll get to it in a minute, but first, a quick cheers to another good weekend. So before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, there is another little update that I've added to this podcast here. You will see it as I have it edited in because, you know, we don't go live. This is all pre-recorded. We all know that. But there's a little title crawl that I've added to the bottom. I figured I'd start doing that more to show the news that was going on in the music world and all that, and even add some little promotional stuff. So if any of you have any breaking news of what's going on in the music world, leave it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to take that into consideration. But I figured add a little more to it, mainly because I want to start making these podcast videos a little more immersive, if you will, or whatever the fucking terminology is. And also another thing that I also want to note is that, sadly, this past week, we've had 3 musicians who have passed on. First, obviously, Aegis here is just as heartbroken because it was Frank Zappa's right-hand man, Ike Willis.
Yep, he was the vocalist on a few of Frank Zappa's albums. In particular, he was in Joe's Garage.
Yep, and I tell you one thing, man. And he was a hell of a vocalist. Some reason I kept confusing like him and Zappa when we were listening to Joe's Garage for that review, dude. But he is a good vocalist and a good guitarist too. I'll give you that. Secondly, we have also lost another legend, more specifically from the prog rock era, as Dick Perry, who was notable for being the saxophonist on some of Pink Floyd's music, most notably Money, Us and Them, and Shine on You Crazy Diamond. He also passed away too, man, but he left his mark on some of the most important and influential music in music history, and that is something that we should all be thankful for. I don't even know if there would be a better saxophonist to find back then than Dick Perry. Even David Gilmour, he left a very heartfelt tribute that made me tear up a bit, you know?
Yep.
We also had another person who passed on who was in the hip-hop industry, and this was literally out of nowhere because he had a private battle with cancer, and that was Rob Bass. Now, for those of you who know the duo Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, they are basically the ones that made that one notable 90s song, It Takes Two, which obviously is a tune that everyone listens to a lot. It's also sad that Rob Bass was the last surviving member of that duo because DJ Easy Rock passed away in 2014. So, to think that now they're both gone, but the legacy of that duo still goes on, man. So, quick rest in peace to all of them. And thank you guys for all the music that you've given us. Alright, so now that that's all gone, we are going to get to today's legit album review. And we are, of course, going to be reviewing none other than Haken's 2016 album, Affinity. Now, before we get started with the album review, there was this new single that they dropped out of nowhere.
Yep, they haven't released an album since let me see what year it was. It was their album Fauna.
Around 2023, I believe, when I took a look on YouTube Music.
Yep, 2023.
Yep.
And usually they have like 3 years between like albums. Like they had 2010, 2011, 2013, 2016, 2018, 2020, and 2023. So they're due for a new album.
Yeah, which maybe should be coming out soon. I haven't seen any breaking news about it, but this has got to be the first single for that new album. What were your thoughts about
Yep.
that song, quick?
Honestly, I thought it was a really good song. I really liked it.
Dude, that song gave me shivers that I probably have never felt before. Like, holy fuck.
Mm.
Like, the song is called In a Fever Dream, and we all had fever dreams, obviously. And if you guys want to give it a good listen, be sure to hit it in the hit the link to it in the description. We will include the link to that song. We just wanted to give our thoughts about the song. We probably will do a more in-depth review of the song once that album comes out, whenever it'll be, but we'll be sure to let you guys know. But for now, we are celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Affinity by Haken, and what in the fuck did I listen to? A lot of the music blew my fucking mind, to say the least.
Yeah, it's not their greatest album, don't get me wrong, but it's a really good album still.
Dude, like I said, like for most of the music, I was pretty speechless, to say the least. And even to say that it left me speechless would be an understatement, you know.
Yeah.
Um, you could tell that they were definitely influenced by 80s music. So I wanted to read up about this here because I know that this album, it's supposed to be a concept album, but they did not declare it a concept album, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. But I would still kind of consider it a concept album. Could you please explain to us what the concept is supposed to be?
All right, so here's what it says on Wikipedia, okay? Affinity covers subjects such as the evolution of computing and humanity, the relationship between man and machine, human behavior in modern society, and it also asks if artificial intelligence will ever surpass the human capacity to create or recreate life.
I hate to
When asked,
tell you, I hate to tell you this, but it isn't gonna get to that point. Otherwise,
yeah,
we already kind of are in that age because we are now in the AI age.
yep, yeah, then it says, when asked if it was a concept album, the vocalist Ross Jennings said that it is more like a soundtrack to a series of recurring themes than an actual concept album.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, you can call it a soundtrack, but it does it's still a concept album. I'm just gonna say it right now. It can be a soundtrack and a concept album. So, it also said here that he also said that none of the band members that feel like we've made our best work yet, let alone made it. So that urge to produce something better than the last time will always be there. I mean, there cannot be a further truer statement than that because you want to create something that will top like your last piece.
Yeah, you want to just keep it getting better and better. Kitty. Nope. 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 Kitty. Kitty. Kitty was trying to walk on the keyboard, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Um, I mean, even then, like you can create something as better than the last piece, but you know people are still gonna revisit that album because they say, "What the hell is this?" We'll just revisit the
Kitty.
old thing. Thing. Okay, so the album was released on April 29th of 2016. It was recorded from 2015 to 2016. It was recorded at the Crypt in London and Wandsworth Studios in London. The genres are progressive metal, progressive rock, and alternative metal. No, it was released by Inside Out Music, and the producers were the band themselves. So let's see here. I just want to see if I can find something here. Okay, so obviously, ladies and gentlemen, this album was inspired by 1980s music, more specifically the prog music from back then. Jennings said that Affinity is an attempt to show people how the elements from that decade were necessary for the band's evolution, despite many saying prog died back then.
Yeah, Prague's still alive and kicking.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
have
not as
Haken,
popular as it used to be.
you have Haken, you have the Deer Hunter, you have Dream Theater. They're all prog bands and they're all still around.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. What else do I want to say? Oh yeah, the idea of making this entire album dedicated to that time came after the band spent time listening to Toto, Vince DiCola, and Van Halen, and specifically after the guitarist Charlie Griffith sent them an initial version of 1985, which was one of the songs that was on there. The ratings were really good for this. All Music gave it a 4 out of 5. Angry Metal Guy gave it 4.5 out of 5. Heavy Blog is Heavy gave it 4.5 out of 5. Metal.de said that it's a 9 out of 10 right there. Metal Ejection was the same rating, or it was, yeah, 9 out of 11 actually right here, or 9.5 out of 10. I don't know. There's too many stars. Metal Underground gave it 4 out of 5. Progressive Music Planet gave it a perfect 10 out of 10. Sputnik Music gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Ultimate Guitar Archive gave it an 8.4 out of 10. And When Prog and Power Unite gave it an A rating. Here's what it says. Affinity was met with critical acclaim. Metal Underground's Ty A praised the band for achieving a smooth combo of the metal and prog elements, but criticized the album's second half for not being as strong as the first, which I will be honest, I do kind of agree with on that. Michael Klasa from Metal.de called it one of the most captivating prog metal albums in years. In a review for All Music, Tom Jurek compared it to the band's previous work by clarifying that it's less dense than The Mountain musically, but no less sophisticated. The textural scope is wider and considerably brighter. The striking harmonic sensibilities in these songs are marked with statements of how prog is capable of attracting those listeners who aren't predisposed to it, but more than that, it's great fun to play. Writing for Sputnik Music, Thompson D. Gerhardt praised the album but was not as impressed as he was with The Mountain, saying that while the group executed with precision on the dystopian hackery concept dreamed up for Affinity, the broader space for dreaming on The Mountain seemed to have allowed for more big and sprawling ideas to come forth and flourish, while it's the quick hits that deliver the statement of Affinity most articulately. The Ultimate Guitar Archive team praised Haken's songwriting and the unity among members, but called Jennings' vocal work restricted for relying too much on his head voice. Progressive Music Planet's Rob gave it a perfect 10 out of 10 score and called it a clear contender for Album of the Year. He also said the album gets better with each listen and that it is Haken's best batch of songs and the best mixture of their influences too. When Prog and Power Unites, Nick said the album may not replace The Mountain as his favorite Haken album, but it comes very close. He praised Diego Tejeda.
I have no idea.
It's spelled Tejeida.
Jahida?
I think so. He praised his keyboard work and his ability to take the demands of the 80s style. And like I said, I've given the album a listen, and you can tell there is a lot of 80s influence in it. So, let's see here. It peaked at number 96 on the UK albums, and that's it. There is nothing for the US Billboard or anything like that on here. Dude, even then, like this album no, we obviously on the YouTube Music and wherever they have a deluxe edition. It's pretty much just all the songs played twice, but it's with vocals and instrumental. So we're just gonna focus on the usual stuff. There is no links to there are no Wikipedia links to any of the songs on here, so this will probably just be a kind of a quick review or synopsis or whatever, and we're just gonna go through with it here. So, shall we get started?
Yeah, first, one second. I think first we should answer the question, what does the word affinity mean?
You know what? Yeah, that's a good one right there.
So I have my dictionary app open. It has a couple different definitions, and we'll see which one we think is most relative to the album.
Okay.
So the definitions are sympathy marked by community of interest, kinship, an attraction to or liking for something, an attractive force between substances or particles that causes them to enter into and remain in a chemical combination, relationship by marriage, likeness based on relationship or casual connection, or finally, a relationship between biological groups involving resemblance in structural plan and indicating a common origin.
Oh, damn, dude. Well, fuck, I honestly would not know. I want to say it's the second choice, but I'm just not sure. But when you look at like the overall of the concept here, it does say it covers the subjects such as evolution of computing and humanity and the relationship between man and machine. So I would have to go with the second one,
Yeah.
the second option, because the second option, like you said, is about the relationship stuff, and it kind of makes sense with this because it does say relationships between man and machine, relationships between human behavior and modern society. And the
All right.
fact that this is 2026 and we are starting to um really start relying a whole lot more on all of the technology and machinery around us, because we started
Yep.
fully adapting into it. Now, if we were in the 1800s or even the early 1800s before, like electricity was and machinery was made, no, we would not have been able to adapt, or everyone would be able to adapt to what they were doing back then. But when electricity and machinery came into play, we had to start relying more on it. And then as the years went on, and look around you now.
All right. Do you want to get into the songs?
Yeah, let's do it. I
All
want
right. I want to
to.
talk about this first song though.
What's that?
I really want to say something about this first song.
I do too, actually. And it is Affinity.exe. And you know what? You go first.
Yeah. So this is the first time that they would start an album with just like a thematic, instrumental, atmospheric song. They would eventually do that again with their album Vector. And I really think it's cool whenever they did that. I really like it in Vector and I like it in this album. But it says here, it is also notable that a Morse code pattern can be heard repeating in the background of the track, which translates to Haken Affinity 1985 when decoded.
I really loved how the song started, dude. Especially with the Morse code stuff, dude. It almost reminded me of the opening song on Roger Waters' album Radio Chaos.
Yeah.
Like it was like amazing, dude. Like, I do want to say that right before I read more of this concept, I honestly thought that the overwhelming concept when I started listening to this would just be like about space and exploration of space. But that's not the case. I mean, if you look at the album cover, like, what do you see on that album cover?
Let me look. I know it looks like just some birds.
And then you see that little grid line that thing that's there, which is pretty much looks like a satellite, right?
Yeah.
And then you see what is a circle that a white circle that's supposed to be the moon right there. And I thought it would. That's kind of what threw me off right
Okay.
there.
Yeah, it's a very interesting album cover, and I really like it. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think I think this is probably one of my favorite opening instrumentals right here. Is this?
Yeah.
And then you start hearing like it sounds very ambient, and it just starts building up and building up. It's almost like the when you're loading your album. Like, didn't I say that for like Crash by Dave Matthews Band, and then what other album that kind of starts slow and then just hits you in the face? Like, I really loved it. It sounded, to say that it did sound a little sinister would be a gross understatement.
Yeah.
And then the drumming, dude. Imagine if, I'm sure the drummer is a good drummer on here, dude. Raymond Hearn. Imagine if you took Hearn out of there and you put Mike Portnoy on those drums. Like, you would just. All right, so let's move on to the next song because this bleeds into the next song, which is Initiate, which is probably the strongest song on here out of all of them.
Really, is out of all the songs in the album, you think is the strongest?
It started strong, but there's I think like maybe one or two other songs that I liked more, but this one I believed was a good start.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you.
And it's
It's not my
simply
favorite song of the
titled,
album, but I thought it was really good.
yeah, it's simply called Initiate, which sounds so fucking appropriate for especially when it's an earlier song that's starting off.
Yeah.
Um, I just wanted to give it a listen quick. Yeah. And then you hear Ross with his singing. It's very melodic. Especially when during the choruses he still kept that melodic stuff going. Before we get into the lyrics, I also want to add that your pussy is on your chair.
Hmm.
That was so bad. That did not come out right. But yeah, the music video. To say that the music video was pretty good, especially when it was showing all of the I'm trying to think. It was like they were in a simulation. That was like how it was for their music videos for this album, was that they were all they were there in real life, but they looked like artificial intelligence because of how they were masked or photoshopped or whatever. And there was like so much simulation stuff going around. It made it look like I was playing one of the virtual simulation levels on Metal Gear Solid 1.
That's right. I'm just taking a peek at the
Yeah.
music video.
That's pretty much what I said, or that's pretty much what my thoughts were about it. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I will include the links to those music videos in the description below. Give them a listen when you can. All
All right.
right,
Do you want
so
me to go through the lyrics?
yeah,
Or do
why
you
don't
want
you
me
go ahead?
Okay. Love and pain, engage your senses and let them carve the way. Give me focus, sharpen my view, initiate. Live
Yeah.
here and now and forever or never.
Just go ahead and continue, dude. I'll be right back.
Okay. Observe a world jarring in turmoil, a million people waging war at the hands of a god, and I can hear them crying, cold fires blazing before me, an affliction fast consuming and fascinating me. Drifting, you'll be deeper, the life and the death of me, into I the unknown, initiate. We'll make this dream last forever and ever. Tears will run dry from my ever wandering eye, but I am prepared to stay till my dying day. I'll see things you won't believe in tomorrow's memories. I'll do things you can't conceive, open the floodgates from the colors and the shapes. Let there be a light, initiate, all my senses are engaging. There'll be no strings on me, open the floodgates, all the love and all the pain. Let there be a light, initiate, all my senses are engaging. Distance, tell me, stretches, how does it feel to breathe? Further from home, initiate, I'm driving, drifting deeper, deeper into the unknown.
Hell yeah. Is that it?
Yep,
All right. Is there like any other meaning behind what the song's message is that it says on Genius?
it doesn't say.
Oh, okay. What do you believe it's about your stuff is, or what your opinion is?
Oh, let's see. I really do not know.
Yeah. It just, yeah. I mean, even then, like it's, I thought it was a good opener, you know.
Yeah,
For me, for the next song, however, I am a little bit of mixed feelings, and it is simply 1985.
I thought it was pretty good. I liked 1985.
Yeah, it starts off like it's a college rock, in my opinion, and I thought it was pretty good. I really loved the synthesizer that was around the 540 mark. Didn't that synthesizer not make you feel like you were at a laser show? I mean, it's just insane, man. I want to see if they had anything on here. Yeah, they didn't have anything much about the song on here, to be honest with you, but I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it does say on Genius. Let's see. Yeah, 1985 is the third track on Haken's fourth studio album, Affinity. At times, the song gives off a strong 80s vibe, which which could one reason why the song is called 1985. In biology, there is a type of mutation called a frame shift. RNA comes in groups of three called codons that encode a single amino acid. If one of the base pairs is deleted, this causes the reading frame to shift, and all codons after the frame shift are reinterpreted as different amino acids. This fits with the themes of the evolution and progress in the album.
I was gonna ask, dude, like they did they said they did this as a somewhat tribute to 80s music, but did they specify exactly which year they were more attracted to?
Well, the song is called 1985.
Yeah, but how do we know that they were influenced by 1985? It could have been any other years. Like there's not just 1985. There's like a whole lot of them. It would be like if I decide to do a song and just simply title it 1988. You know,
Yeah.
and I'll just be like, I was influenced by music from 1988 because I thought 88 was one of the best years in music. You had my boys from Blue Oyster Cult release Imaginos, which is one of my favorite albums. You had REM's with their album Orange. You had Iron Maiden with Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. I could go on and on. All right, I'll take this here. I stand map in hand, direction misaligned, direction misaligned, direction misaligned. I play my role with the cast of a die, cast of a die, cast of a die. It spins through the air, bound by gravity, bound by gravity, bound by gravity. So why can't I feel momentum pulling me? Momentum pulling me. Their design shifting frame by frame, shifting frame by frame. Blur the lines, the cycle starts again. Now, shifting frame by frame, this was the 1980s. Computers were already being invented at this point right here. And computers always rely on frame by frames, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
There's also a King Crimson song called Frame by Frame, which is pretty good on their album Discipline.
Yeah. What do you think that they probably would not have been influenced by King Crimson to add shifting frame by frame, would they? I don't know.
I doubt it.
That's just me spitballing right there. All right. My first step was undertaken aimlessly, yet I arrived as if I meant to be, as if I meant to be, as if I meant to be, conceived by desire or compelled by certainty, or compelled by certainty, or compelled by certainty. Did I decide or did the road choose me? Did the road choose me? Their design shifting frame by frame, blur the lines, the cycle starts again. All I am, blood, flesh and bone, hand in hand, love, trust, and hope, step by step. Ha! They just have made a reference to New Kids on the Block right there.
Mm.
All roads lead home, birth to death, thy will be done. Oh, yeah. All I am, blood, flesh, and bone, hand in hand, love, trust, and hope, step by step, all roads lead home, birth to death, thy will be done. Break the code, find your soul, cast the die, lose control. Jesus. Break the code, find the formula, lose control in euphoria. Break the code, find the formula, lose control in euphoria. Their design shifting frame by frame, blurred the lines, the cycle starts again. Their design shifting frame by frame, blur the lines, cycle starts again. Let's see here. We're gonna do one more song and then we're gonna take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Final thoughts for this song. Like I said, I'm mixed feelings on this song. Like I thought it was pretty good, but I don't know if I would revisit it, to be honest. You know, but if it's there, I'll listen to it. So, all right, next up.
I thought it was a pretty great song. It's the it's the biggest hit on the album, but it's not my favorite song on the album.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. Anyway, next up we got is Lapse, and this is probably one of my top favorite songs here.
Yeah.
Let me the one thing for some reason with Lapse, it reminded me of the second track from Yes's Tales from Typographic Oceans.
Yeah, I liked Lapse. I thought it was a good song, but it wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah. Let me see. I gotta remember what the name of the song was quick. I just want to take a look quick. Yeah, some reason it kind of reminded me of the Remembering High the Memory by Yes. I don't know. I guess it's just like how some of the melodic stuff at the beginning sounded, you know, with the dun 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 dun, you know. I think this is
Yeah.
like I said, this is probably one of my top favorite songs on this album is
Okay.
Lapse, you know. Oh, could this be like where they said that they felt it was going downhill, or do you think it was after the next song?
I know. I actually like the latter half of this album.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just me anyways. Um
Yeah.
go right ahead, dude.
Dying of the light, a million faces search the sky. The universe was huge enough for us to hide. Drifting with the tide, a rite of passage to the stars. I always knew the days were through for us to shine. Live, love, fade out. Days and nights seem never ending. Space and time bleed into one. Hold on to
Oh.
the light. To stay awake, to live and learn. To keep your sanity. Trace forgotten smiles. To feel the rage and hear the tale of how the mission fell apart. Stay here by the light. To turn the page and feel the pain of being loved and left behind. Sing the sun in flight. To be afraid and live in vain, let the rest of us remain. Live love shut down. Days and nights seem never ending. Space and time bleed into one. Dreams of our two worlds connecting fade as soon as they've begun.
Days and nights seem never ending. Well, the truth is that they are never ending. You know? Like it's daytime right now. we're gonna see daylight the next day, and we'll see night to night, and then the next night, and then it's gonna keep going on and on and on as the Earth and the universe continues to age. You may not think that it's aging, but the truth is it is. And so, when this universe has been here for how many millions of years? And how much longer do you think it'll continue to stay? Maybe unless if we did what those bastards on Futurama did and went forward.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we make it, oh my god, it's the end of the universe. It's a huge black void for like, what, 2-3 seconds, and then a new universe is born? Or we just repeat
And it's the exact same as the old one?
Yeah. It just keeps repeating the vicious cycle,
It's a fucking great episode.
Nah, I was watching it, and then at the ending, I was like, what the living fuck, dude?
Yeah, it's one of the greatest cartoons is Futurama. I fucking love that show.
Yeah, for me, dude, like, I liked only up until the last film came out, because I felt it became too dramatic and sad, dude, and I'm the type of guy that does not watch that shit unless if it's MASH.
I still like the newer seasons of Futurama. They weren't as good as the originals, but I thought they were still good.
I guarantee you, dude, if they would have kept the, like, the stuff, it just would work. And then space and time bleed into one. Well, I mean, if you're a huge time travel enthusiast, then of course it makes kind of sense. Just be sure you don't fuck your grandmother on accident like Fry did. That's what you're looking at me like, what the fuck? All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue on with this legit album review, we're gonna go to Affinity and Beyond and take a quick commercial break. We will be right back. Do not go anywhere. This commercial is sponsored in part by Beatings by Chris Brown.
Intense. Oh shit. Let's have a drink last night. Yeah, you better run to. The hell? Traveling Jack from Clock Out Moon. I don't drink this shit. I drink Voodoo Rangers. What the fuck?
Rise and shine, Aegis!
How the fuck did you get in my apartment?
You left the door open.
Huh. Dude, seriously? Tapeworm Tussle?
Come on, man, you love this song and you know it. It has that same upbeat personality like my all-time favorite song, Don't Bring Me Down by the Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah, I know that. If I hear it one more goddamn time, I'm going to bash my brains in.
What's that, Aegis? I can't hear you, man. If you want to see more content from us that's not posted on this channel, be sure to subscribe to the Intermission group today. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Roger Radio here with Aegis Don Levity, and welcome to another legit album review as we go Affinity and beyond with our album Affinity. We've covered the first 4 songs, and I will say that I was impressed would be an understatement. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel, but I thought so far I thought this album was pretty good, but how well else do the other songs hold up? Well, let's get right into it. We are going to continue on with The Architect, and they had a special guest appearance on this song.
Yeah. Let's see, what's his name?
Einar Solberg of Lepris.
Ooh. Yeah, I love Lepris.
Yeah. I mean, I just
don't know the names of everyone in it, but
yeah, that's what it says. Einar Solberg, Einar. Let's see, how long has he been the frontman for? I want to take a look quick. Oh, dude, he's been the lead. He's been the frontman for Lepris since the beginning of time, dude. 2001. In fact, according to this, dude, him and Tor Onman Surki are the only 2 original members from the beginning who have been there since the beginning of time. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually did like this song right here.
The Architect, honestly, I think might just be my second favorite song on the album.
I loved the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, I was about to sneeze. Oh, fuck, I hate that. Don't you hate it when you have to sneeze, but you don't sneeze? I fucking hate that so much. The only thing about me is that I thought the beginning and the end of the song was pretty good, but the middle part, dude, it almost reminded me of Close to the Edge by Yes.
Okay.
Start strong. A good start, a good strong start, and a good strong end. That's what I saw with The Architect. But then of course I think they wanted to do what they did on Affinity.exe, is like have a little ambientness to it. I'm not sure what I would say for this song. I don't know where I would place it on one of my favorites. And for it to even be called The Architect, I feel that it would almost be like if it was a character that they would talk about in the Indigo Child series.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say, really, man. Let me look at one more thing quick, if I may. Oh yeah, it says that it's one of their longest tracks, and it took Diego Tejeda 2 weeks to finish his part. It has guest harsh vocals by Solberg from the Norwegian prog metal band Lepris. Where's Haken from? Are they from Norway?
I think they're a British band.
Oh yeah, they are. They are. Jennings initially intended to do those vocals himself, but the band decided to take the opportunity to invite a guest singer for that part. And he also said of the songwriting process, saying, and I quote, "Charlie sent the initial sketch/framework for this one. The Architect was one of those cases where one section of a song got a completely different meaning when someone else got involved. For instance, Charlie had some really cool stereo guitar lines for the middle section. I came and added big ambient electronica sound design textures to it. Then Connor Green came with an incredible bass solo. Ray added a mental trip hop beat, so on and so forth." I could hear that, the trip hop part. I could actually hear that.
Yeah. All right, here's what it says on Genius. So according to Ross Jennings, the loose concept of affinity is touching on the evolution of computing, and we draw parallels to human evolution.
Yep.
When interviewed by the Lords of Metal, the band stated, "The Architect is a love letter from a robot to its creator. It also explores the pretense of our friendships and how technology has not just revolutionized how we interact as humans, but it has destroyed the true meaning of what it is to relate. It's been able to connect us and make us all closer while simultaneously making us more emotionally distinct from each other than ever before. This is the spine that holds the songs and Affinity together, but there are other ideas at play here, including the future of artificial intelligence and the evolution of technology. The 80s for us is where it all began. At least it was for me. I was 1 year old in 1985.
Oh, that now makes
So
sense why he
that's,
fucking would call his song 1985.
yeah, that's where he considers the birth of like AI and the evolution of technology to begin.
Okay, that makes a lot of fucking sense now. And now for the part that we have to talk about, the elephant in the room, about the relationship and the love of a robot to give to a creator or whatever. I don't know.
Cyborg. Give me
Give
that
me that
cyborg.
cyborg. Now, I don't know if it was supposed to be a reference to whatever, but I can think of two things right now, dude. Aside from iRobot and fucking iRobot by the Alan Parsons Project, there's a Farnsworth who was in a quote unquote robosexual relationship with his robot. Her name was not Eunice, it was Unit. Unit. And then there's the one robot chicken skit that I watched it the other day, actually, and it was about the humping robot that was humping a jukebox.
There's also a 2013 movie called Her, starring Joaquin Phoenix,
Oh,
directed
for
by Spike
fuck's
Jonze.
sake. I
Have you
knew
seen
you were
that
gonna
movie?
bring that up.
I fucking love that movie. It's brilliant.
I knew you were gonna make that up, dude. That is such an old ass meme right there, dude. Like, fuck off. Dude,
Have
how can you have sex with something like this unless if you were able to somehow stick it up your rectum? Otherwise, or if you have a big wide mouth, you could deep throat it. Remember, dude, artificial intelligence cannot love you. They are programmed to love you. They actually do not have a heart. They do not have a brain. They are programmed to love you.
All right, want to get into the lyrics?
Yeah, please do, dude. I'm like,
All
please do.
right, message on a screen before me caught a glimpse of the ending of to our story. I'm sorry I haven't called you recently.
What? I'm sorry, dude. Did that almost look like the fucking ending for her right there? Message on a screen before me caught a glimpse of the ending to our story.
It's not surprising. I'll just learn the lesson, take some time to process the evidence, and analyze your apathy. You turned your back on affinity. Now it's turned to toxicity.
Oh,
You've turned
dude.
your back on affinity. Now it's turned to toxicity.
Oh, dude, toxicity. That almost felt like that was a shout out to System of a Down, but it really isn't. But fuck.
Yeah. Spare me your obsolete empathy. The voice of sympathy means nothing to me. Delete all obsolete memories. Shores of tranquility, my monastery. We played the game of imitation. I met your stare with blank expression. I count the years of isolation since you set my mind in motion. And to eliminate the silence, I calculate to cure the virus. A panacea for the poison. The solution is wrong. A panacea is like a cure-all thing. It's not an actual thing, but like, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, you turned your back on affinity. Whoa, 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 whoa. And now it's turning to toxicity. And then it repeats that again. Share me your obsolete empathy. The voice of sympathy means nothing to me. Delete obsolete memories in a dying sun. I'll become affinity. Affinity, affinity, affinity. There's a strange feeling washing over me as I am drifting on the waves of a boundless sea, all embracing. Some say that time and tide will wait for no man. There's a strange feeling. I stop and hold a grain of sand washing over me. To see a world in the palm of my hand, as I am. Strive to break free from the confines of my mind, drifting on the step through the doorway of perception, waves of a boundless,
Yeah.
to lose all sense of past and future, see all embracing. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, your camera's just went out, so just want to make sure.
Yeah, I did hear you, and I did see that the cam went off, but I fixed it, so go right ahead.
Okay. Omnipresent, endless not, the architect of every thought, through the prison walls made by our design, a chameleon hides between Orwellian eyes. That's an interesting line.
Right?
A chameleon hides between Orwellian eyes. All right. Spare me your obsolete empathy. Excuse me. The voice of sympathy means nothing to me. Delete all obsolete memories in a dying sun. When you're gone, I'll become affinity. Oh, hear this vow tied together forever. We'll make this dream last forever and ever. Oh, hear this vow tied together forever. We'll make this dream last forever and ever.
Yeah. That's it?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Um, this song was really good. Like I said, I really liked it, but the next song I kind of did not like, honestly.
I thought Earthrise was okay.
It almost, for some reason, reminded me a little too much of the Glass Desert Giants.
Yeah.
And just like with if I remember, it's Initiate and Lapse. Perhaps Earthrise also had a music video, and for Lapse and Earthrise and even Initiate, they were pretty much the same. They were kind of like the same style of music video, you know, so we don't really need to go much into it. Although I did like on the music video that they showed the Empire State Building, and there was like a big light that came and at the ending. Like I said, some reason this song reminded me a little too much of fucking Glass Desert Giants. It's just a song I really didn't care about.
Okay. All right. Do you want to get into lyrics?
Yeah, I'll read them this time. One step back, take two leaps forward, and with a bated breath, we wait for Generation X to fade. Ooh. Wow. Embracing the emancipation, how will history remember a masterpiece chiseled to dirt? Good question right there. Collapsing pillars of the earth, a march of progress in reverse. That right there just triggered which song was it on Antimai that criticized the higher class?
Luxury?
Yeah, that imagine if that right there, that quote was on Luxury. All right, so blood fills my lifeless heart, eyes flicker in the dark, two steps back, one leap forward. You let your shackles fall with grace, still counting on that wish you made to reach out far beyond the pale, how I dream to feel alive. Bestow upon these vital signs, the lunar path dictates the tide. Will we ever reach the shoreline? How do we answer to the gods? Among the men creating us, I meant. As I inhale the hurricane, I touch the void and feel no pain. Resolve to carry on. I touch the void and feel no pain. Some reason feel that part there and feel no pain. It took me back to Lamia from Genesis. With the fucking snakes and in that giant bathtub or whatever the hell it was. Another life awaits beyond the horizon. Evolve and will ensure our survival. We are the revolution. Resolve to carry on. Another life awaits beyond the horizon. Evolve and will keep reaching through horizons. ensure our survival to leave our past behind us. We are the revolution. We turn towards the Earthrise. Yep, and that's it. I will say this here, and actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna save what I want to say at the end, right after we get done with these songs, and before I give my final thoughts. So let's continue on. We have Red Giant, another song that's for some reason reminded me of Sonya.
Yeah.
It
Honestly,
just had that feel to it, you know?
yeah. Red Giant was honestly my least favorite song on the album.
I'm not sure where I would put this, honestly. I really have no idea where I would put this at, honestly.
Right?
I thought the lyrics, I thought the vocals were good, you know, but I just don't know. I probably won't revisit this song.
All right. Blood Red Sun, my companion. Feel my love through the static. For we rust and dismantle. Salvage us from the ash. A trial by fire on shoulders of giants. Desolate their communion. We're scalded and burning, yet he keeps on turning. If doom is impending, what are we defending? Gaia mourns her children. Everything that ends beckons a revival, sustain or to descend. Nothing's decided. When I escape myself, now much will be remembered. Of heaven or hell, of what it really means to be. Desolate their communion, Gaia mourns all her children. Of what it really means to be. And it just repeats of what it means to be for a while. Then it goes on, as time decays, tickling lives away. Taking lives away.
Tickling live? What the fuck?
Sorry.
Wait a minute. Hold on a fucking sec. Hold on a minute. As time decays, tickling lives away, so you figure you'll just, as they're dying, you'll just tickle them?
It says taking lives away.
Yeah, I know, but that's still, that freaking slip up was probably the funniest thing that I needed. I actually needed that today, so.
All that we know eroded, dreams that we made gently start to break, but they'll never fade.
Hell yeah. I do have a couple things. The first part, as time decays, ticking lives away, that almost literally felt like that was a reference to Time by Pink Floyd, you know? Every year is getting shorter. We can't seem to find the time. You know what I mean? And then, of course, Gaia mourns all her children. I have one simple question. Who the fuck is Gaia?
Mother Nature.
Well, how was I supposed to know that? I took special ed English, man, so how am I supposed to know what's what? I assumed that this was like a woman or something like that, but fucking nature. Yeah,
Mother Nature.
You'd think that this was a reference to Ring 2 Nature, you know? Anyways, let's continue on. We got The Endless Knot, and this is actually one of my other top favorite songs. And you know what? The guitar work at the beginning, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, this was hands down my favorite song on the album.
Just imagine if you had Dream Theater or Deer Hunter doing this song, man. But then, of course, it's Haken, dude. You can't take Haken's work. I think, let me see here. Let me see what I have ranked. It would probably be The Endless Knot and The Architect for my top two songs right now.
Yeah, my favorite is The Endless Knot. Second favorite is The Architect. Third favorite is probably 1985.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Listen to the 220 mark on the Endless Knot, dude. It almost sounded like there was a bit of dubstep influence in it. You cannot sit there and tell me there is no dubstep influence in that part.
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is insane, bro. Yeah, there's nothing really to say about I have nothing else to say, so I'll just get into it. We dream of places we can't get to. We crawl, we swim, it's never ending. The crests of tidal waves are raging. The bitter lake is ever changing. A conscious ocean covered planet of memories flooding back to drown me. Uncertain, lost in deep confusion. Is this the past that's passing through me? You know, I will say this right here. A crest of tidal waves are raging. The bitter lake is... I would switch that to bitter ocean, and then a conscious ocean covered planet. That almost literally sounds like something that I would put in a concept album about Bible stories right there for, the Noah's Ark story,
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you cannot tell me that literally makes perfect sense. Close your eyes, stand your ground, face the wind, never looking back. Open your eyes, Nicholas. The ancient prophecy unfolded. Distracted minds ignored the warnings. Oh, dude. That is so relatable in today's world and political landscape.
Yep.
Confronting facts to prove the fiction, which obviously we are doing every day. Right to the point of mass extinction, we flirted with the edge of darkness, offered ourselves unto the harvest, the shepherd led, we blindly followed into the world of no tomorrow. Well, I tell you this, there is a certain shepherd that's leading us into probably no tomorrow. Or even no next week, no next month, no next year. Break me down to pieces and strip me of my freedom. I fall back on my instincts, but never know the reason why. All hope disappearing gives the power of healing. I'll walk among the breathing, but never understand what it means. We need a story to believe in. We need a hero to prevail. Our design shifted frame by frame across the line. Our cycle starts to fall. Our design shifted frame by frame across the line. We die to live again. We need a story to believe in. We need a hero to prevail. We need a challenge we can overcome. It takes a tragedy to make us one. Dude, that is literally so fucking true today. Literally fucking true today. That was the last good song on this album because the last song I fucking hated. Bound by Gravity.
There's one thing I want to say about the Endless Knot before I go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it says here, an endless knot is an ancient symbolic knot. Its meaning is generally accepted to be codependency, interweaving of wisdom, compassion, the merging of time and motion, and the eternal continuum of the mind. These are all themes that appear throughout the album. The reason this track, out of all the others, was given this name is probably because it's showing how we have to think of everything and everyone as connected and equally important.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome, man.
And yeah, next we got Bound by Gravity. I thought this was the second weakest song on the album.
It's my most weakest song. I did not like how it sounded, dude. It sounded too depressing for me. And I hate my fucking depressing music, dude. And you can look in my eyes right now, dude, and you tell me, dude, do I look like I'm fucking kidding?
No.
I guarantee you people are gonna make memes or send me like spam comments like links to this song, and I'll just be like, fuck off. Knock it off.
Let me get through the lyrics quick.
Please do, dude. I just like with Wild Mountain Honey, dude, I don't even want to give a single fucking breath to this. You read the lyrics. I can't.
Bless us with the gift of a morning that lightens the day, infecting us with hope like a flower that rose from the grave. There will be a shift in perspective, but nothing can change until the floodgates and doors of perception have swung open wide. The stars align for million dawn, gravity's bind embraces all. An ethereal force keeps the beat in all our hearts, and our feet on the ground. Is this the life our days and nights will be undone? Here we are, collating our thoughts in a gathering of clouds. If this is life, will space and time bleed into one? If we dictate the cause and face no consequences, would our worlds still intertwine? If this is love, hearts beat as one and never stop. Stop the clocks before they grow impatient and conscious of time. In a dying sun, all will be undone, so our time has come and we are born as one. The stars align for million dawn, gravity's bind embraces all. When the stars align within your bind, our worlds will intertwine. All is love, our souls collide, a swarm of minds reborn, then we find euphoria. Stars align within your bind, the storm subsides, your will is done. Our worlds will intertwine, all is love, a swarm of minds. Our souls collide, a swarm of minds, reborn as one, reborn as one.
The only thing that was listenable in this song was the last minute on it. Because they did a throwback to the beginning of Affinity.exe with the Morse code. I will say this, dude. So, just a little quick side note that's unrelated to this topic. There is this one video game that I downloaded on my PlayStation 5 that's called Metal Edge, if I remember correctly. And it's so futuristic and so dystopian that Affinity kept reminding me of that game. Let me see. Let me see if I remember if that's the name. Metal Eden, I meant, is what it's called. But some reason, just the overall theme of that game kept bringing me back to this album right here, you know? I think it's just the fact that it's not only is that game like very futuristic in its own right, but then when you listen to the music right here, it does have that as well. Okay, so final thoughts. Like I said, was pretty blown away with this album here. It was interesting. It was very good with a lot of parts in it. The synthesizer on 1985 I really did like. I really enjoyed The Endless Knot and The Architect. Those are my two songs right there. The Endless Knot 1. The Architect 2nd, and Lapse 3. Initiate is at 4, and 1985 I would say is at 5 or 6 or whatever. And for obvious reasons, The Endless Knot's my most favorite song. I really despised Bound by Gravity, despite the fact that it featured Pete Rinaldi of Headspace on it. And I really liked the opening track on Affinity.exe. I thought that was probably one of the best opening instrumentals I ever heard. And because I was so mixed with this, half and half, dude, I can only give it a 5, dude. Because I was really, really mixed with this album.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd give it like an 8.8. I really liked it. The only thing keeping it from being a 9 is like there are 2 songs on there that I thought were kind of weak. If it wasn't for those 2 songs, let me see, which ones were they? If it wasn't for Red Giant and Bound by Gravity, I'd be giving that a 9. But best I can do is an 8.8.
Yeah. Like I said, dude, I was so incredibly mixed with this album, dude. But there were some good parts, but there's just a whole lot of music that I probably will not revisit from this album. Not to take
Yeah.
away from this album here. They really did a good job on it. No doubt about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's podcast episode. If you are a Haken fan, what are your favorite songs or even albums from them? And also, what topics would you want us to cover on this podcast? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to check everything out, including the album. The links to everything will be in the description below. While you're at it, be sure to subscribe to the Roger Radio Show. Hit the bell to be notified when we upload. Hit the thumbs up button, and just go from there. And be sure to also subscribe to the Intermission group as well, and follow me on all my social media. The links to everything will be in the description below. And also, one final note, if you are an independent artist or band that wants to promote your music and to be interviewed, reach out to me at rogerrhodes90@yahoo.com, and we will figure out how to get you in or figure out a good date. All right, Aegis, any final thoughts?
I got nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in, and as always, until next time, ta-ta for now.
Peace.